Hey y'all, what's up? JamiThatsMe here. Welcome back to the channel. I wanted to come to you guys real quick to talk about a missing woman out of Aiken, South Carolina, who goes by the name of Jamilla Smith. Okay, now Jamilla Smith has been missing for about a week now. Okay, I want to get into some details about Jamilla and what's going on with her situation here. All right, they're letting us know that she is a 30-year-old woman who is a mother of two children. Okay, what we know is that she was last seen December 2nd with her boyfriend. I would say estranged boyfriend, Mr. Daniel Harmon. Now, Jamilla is 30 years old, whereas Daniel is 34 years old. Okay, now she and Daniel, from my understanding, have one child together, and she has another child with someone else, and she was expected to pick that child up on last Saturday, right? But she never arrived. Okay, so it's been a lot of things going on with Jamilla and Daniel. I believe they have been dating for quite some time now. I believe it may have been even more than 5 years of the two of them dating. Okay, now what we're learning is that originally they both were listed. Jamilla and Daniel were originally listed as missing persons. Okay, I believe they went to a car lot to check out some cars or something. At some point, when they went to go and check out a vehicle or whatever, they got into some type of argument where he took her phone and he threw it out of the vehicle. Okay, now she was able to retrieve the phone from my understanding, but as of right now, a lot of people are saying that the last time that they were seen was on December 2nd in a black Dodge Charger. All right, now the police listed that both of them have a history of DV. However, I do not believe that is the case. Jamilla's family is not saying that she is a person that contributes to DV. If anything, she is the victim, whereas Mr. Daniel is the aggressor. Okay, and her family is letting us know that they did not know anything about the entire DV situation between Jamilla and Daniel until last year. But I did hear some audio from the friends where they kind of, alleged that they saw, different bruising and things on her body as well. So I don't know if that's something that they may have learned recently, last year, or before that time. Okay, but her mom is saying that she did not become privy to it until about a year ago. All right, now there was an incident where Jamilla and Daniel were arrested back in October, and I believe that it was an incident involving the fair. Okay, Daniel kind of got into an altercation with one of the employees, and once the police arrived, I believe that he ended up being apprehended or whatnot, and Jamilla was trying to kind of jump into the situation to kind of try to calm him down or whatever the case was, and eventually with her interference it led to both of them actually being arrested. Now some of the police reports that are out there, they're trying to label it as though the altercation was between Jamilla and Daniel, when it actually wasn't. It was between Daniel and whatever employee of the fair, and Jamilla kind of jumped into it afterwards once the police got there. And due to her interference, she ended up being arrested for that. And Daniel and Jamilla were both arrested on misdemeanor obstruction. Okay, so that's what they're letting us know. Excuse me. Now, Jamilla's family has been in, or at least they were in communication with Jamilla, and that was back on December 2nd when she and Daniel were driving to Columbia. Okay, they did have that argument, as I mentioned, and Smith's family told authorities that he had thrown her phone out of the window, but it had since been retrieved. Okay, now Jamilla and Daniel did return home, from my understanding, the 400 block of Old Jackson Highway around 6:30 p.m., and that is according to the incident report from Aiken County Sheriff's Office. Now the deputies were sent to that location after dispatchers got a call from Jamilla, and that was around 8:48. Okay, so Jamilla and he went out. They were driving, looking for a vehicle. I guess that was out there in Columbia at some point earlier that afternoon. Okay, they got into an altercation. He takes her phone, throws it out the window. At some point, she's able to retrieve that phone. They make it back on their side of town, make it back to where they're supposed to be at about 6:30. Now, shortly after that, close to 8:45 is when 911 received a call, and that call ended up coming from Jamilla, from my understanding. Okay, they said the female caller said her ex-boyfriend had come there and she'd run down the street to get away from him. Okay, the caller then began to scream, and the dispatcher heard a man tell her to get into the vehicle, followed by the sound of a car horn. Okay, the phone ended up going silent and the phone call ended. All right. Now, the dispatcher tried to call back, but there was no answer, and deputies went to the address but weren't able to find the caller at all. Okay. Now, the neighbors did tell deputies that they didn't hear or see anything, but they did see a car leave about 10 minutes before the deputies got there. And the deputies did see where there was damage done to the window screen at the home, along with Smith's keys being on the ground. And they said that there was also a shoe print that was left in the front yard. Okay. So, or at least, I'm sorry, not in the front yard, but it was a shoe print left on the front door. Okay, is what I'm learning. But I do want to get into this news clip. I do have a few news clips that I want us to go ahead and check out. So let's just see what one of these news stories is reporting regarding her case. Okay.
Where is Jamilla Smith? That's the question investigators are trying to answer as we speak. This afternoon, our cameras caught investigators combing through two homes for evidence on Old Jackson Highway near her last known location. Meanwhile, her estranged boyfriend, Daniel Harmon, is charged with kidnapping and second-degree domestic violence. He's also listed as a person of interest in the case. Hallie Turner looks at some new details about his criminal history and what led up to her disappearance.
Just hours ago, more than 5 unmarked Aiken County investigator vehicles were in the street of the home on Old Jackson Highway. This may be a new case for them, but the name Daniel Harmon is one reports show they've known for years. Daniel Harmon may be a stranger to you, but to law enforcement, he's a familiar face. He was charged with obstruction after a fight with his girlfriend, who's now missing, broke out at the Richmond County Fair in October. She was charged too. Wednesday, investigators spent most of the morning off Old Jackson Highway, where they believe Harmon kidnapped 30-year-old Jamilla Smith. She was last seen on this driveway. We saw more than 5 unmarked Aiken County vehicles, with investigators pulling items from the home and retracking the couple's every step. But we also tracked the couple's steps and found, in addition to that fair charge, deputies in Aiken County have had run-ins with Harmon more than 30 times over the span of a decade. His charges range from traffic violation to drug possession and neglect of children. In 2015, he pled guilty to simple battery family violence for pushing a woman in the forehead. In 2016, he was the driver in a hit and run, spending 5 years on probation with a hefty fine. Records show he's also faced a judge in Augusta for more than 20 different charges across state lines. In 2012, he shot a man, but the aggravated assault charge was later reduced to reckless conduct. Now again, Jamilla was last seen Saturday, and at this time there is still no sign of her, but Harmon will appear before a judge Thursday at 3.
And we'll get into him appearing before that judge and what the determination ended up being so far, okay? Now, what I also see is that a few days after that 911 call was made, when Jamilla called, the cops or whatnot, the authorities did learn that Daniel was located at an address out in Aiken, as we just saw. And they said that he did not want to come out. He was there with, I'm believing, some family members, but the family members or friends, the associates, the individuals inside of the home ended up coming outside. But Daniel was kind of like having a standoff, but not necessarily a standoff with like a weapon or anything. He just was not prepared, ready, willing to actually come out of the home. Okay. What else are they letting us know here? Give me 1 second. Okay. I wanted to make sure I put that back up there so you guys can see her face. Okay. Now they're letting us know that the police decided once they got him, they apprehended him. They took him to the hospital actually to get him evaluated. And the reason for that was because they said that he may have taken quite a bit of medication and things. And he also was talking about harming himself. So because of that, that was the reason why they took him over to the hospital for him to get checked out. And then upon them doing that, they ended up learning that he actually had a warrant out for DV. And because of that, they decided to go ahead and place him in custody. All right. Now, the reason he went to the hospital, we talked about as far as the, he had taken medication, wanted to harm himself, but that's not the first time he's done that. He's talked about harming himself previously, from my understanding. They also mentioned in different reports that this young man has mental health issues as well. Okay. In the past, they're saying that he had said that he was willing to unalive himself as well as Jamilla. And I think that may have created some friction in the relationship as to why she likely no longer wanted to be in a relationship with him anymore, and rightfully so, right? They are saying that they said it is being reported that he strangled her last month, which is likely what that DV situation was really all about. Okay, that's what they're saying. So let me see if I have that here, so where we could kind of get into some of those details of what they're saying. Let me double check and see. I think I have it here, so let me get that up on the screen and see if they can let us know anything about that situation from the past. Okay, because that is just, this is sad. And I hope that they're able to find her, because they done already found him, even though they both were listed as missing persons or whatnot. But I'm really hoping that they're able to find her safe and sound. But I wanted to make sure that I cover this story over here on the channel for people that may not be aware. Okay.
In Aiken County tonight, new developments in a missing persons case. Charges have been brought against the man police think has something to do with the disappearance of his ex-girlfriend. Daniel Harmon was taken into custody yesterday morning, but was immediately taken to the hospital for evaluation. Authorities say he was under the influence of something when they found him. Now he's officially been charged in the case after the couple hadn't been seen since Saturday night. Authorities found Harmon Tuesday at a home in North Augusta after an anonymous tip reported seeing Harmon's car. However, they are still trying to find his ex-girlfriend, 30-year-old Jamilla Smith. They were together on Saturday, according to the woman's mother. Now, authorities say they think Harmon knows something about her disappearance. Aiken County SWAT and North Augusta police helped take him in on Tuesday. Now, according to an arrest warrant, Harmon is also accused of strangling Smith back on November the 10th, causing visible bruising on her neck. Now, the last time Smith's family heard from her was Saturday night. Authorities say Smith also called 911 that day, saying she was trying to run away from Daniel Harmon, and dispatchers could hear a man yelling in the background to get inside a car. Now, right now, Harmon is being held at the Aiken County Jail. If anyone has any information about where Jamilla Smith is, or if you see her, you're asked to call the Aiken County Sheriff's Office.
All right, so that's one of the updates at this time, okay, of what's going on with that situation. So he had already harmed her in the past, and this was just last month. And he out here moving around, moving and shaking, and got a whole DV case, a whole DV warrant. So I'm glad, in a sense. We don't know what has truly happened or transpired between both of them. We have bits and pieces from what was heard on the 911 call to the testimonies of the different families and friends and things like that. But it's not necessarily looking good. I do believe that he brought a bit of harm to her, especially with his history. Like, this man has a very long history of crimes, okay? A very long, like a long list of mug shots, DV situations, all kind of stuff going on. So he definitely has been a problem child. And I think that he knows every bit of everything of where this young lady is, of what has happened to her and everything, okay? But I want to get into more. Let me see what else I have here before we get into more of the news reports, okay? As you guys heard, he is currently being charged. He's being charged with second-degree DV and kidnapping, okay? And from my understanding, his bond has been denied, okay? And we'll get into that too. I do believe that her father was pleading with him. But before we get into what the father has to say, there is another news story that I want to check out. So let us do just that, okay?
And now an update on a missing person story. We told you about this one yesterday.
Yeah, there are more charges for the ex-boyfriend of a missing mother. News Channel 6's Renetta Dubose reports.
She's a good person. One thing about her, I know she loves her kids. You love her kids. That's all she talk about, and she loves singing.
Friends fondly share about Jamilla Smith. The 30-year-old mother of 2 young sons has not been heard from since the evening of Saturday, December 2nd, when she spoke on the phone with her mother.
She called me from his phone around 3, and she said,
His phone.
Daniel threw my phone out of the window on I-20.
An Aiken County incident report tells us that Smith's mother, Tina McCraw, had police conduct a welfare check December 3rd, and that's when she learned her daughter was missing. The day prior, she says her daughter's ex-boyfriend and father to her youngest child, 34-year-old Daniel Harmon, was going car shopping with her in Columbia, South Carolina, when an argument turned into him throwing that phone out the window. They returned to Augusta around 6:30, the last time she spoke with Smith.
We didn't find out about the domestic violence until around this time last year.
Records News Channel 6 uncovered confirmed the history of domestic violence. In November, Aiken County Sheriff's Office responded to a domestic situation at Smith's home in Jackson, where deputies saw evidence that Harmon choked and scratched Smith, citing dried blood on his fingernails. That deputy petitioning a domestic charge against Harmon.
She would call me upset. We would see her with bruises.
The last day Smith was heard from, Aiken County Dispatch received a call from a woman they later learned was Smith. She said her ex-boyfriend showed up and she ran down the street to get away. She screamed, and dispatch heard a man saying, "Get in a vehicle," and a horn blowing before complete silence. The sheriff's office located Harmon, who was also missing, and arrested him Tuesday at a home on Carpentersville Road in North Augusta. He's being charged with kidnapping Smith and also a domestic charge too. Smith's loved ones say, despite rumors online, she was not the aggressor in the relationship, but the victim trying to save herself and her children.
Millie's very caring, loving, funny. I don't know what they're trying to paint about her, his family, that she's some drug addict. I know everybody's seen his...
I know his family not over there trying to paint her as anything, knowing that he's the one with the extensive criminal record, and she doesn't. She doesn't have that.
Video of them at the fair, but he had got into it, and she was just trying to diffuse the situation.
Jamilla Smith is a black woman, 5'3", 107 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. Anyone with information on where she might be should contact the Aiken County Sheriff's Office at 803-648-6811. Renata Dubose, WJBF News Channel 6.
All right, so that's what you guys have heard so far, okay? I definitely hope they find this young lady. I can't take it. Like, it's just horrible. This is just horrible. I hate hearing stories about people going missing, especially at the hands of these raggedy men. I swear to God, because I truly believe that he knows exactly where she is. I do believe that he knows exactly where she is. I have a few more news stories here I want us to check out. So let's see. I don't think we checked this one out.
Here at home, we're also tracking a breaking news situation. Charges being brought against a man that authorities say has something to do with the disappearance of his ex-girlfriend. This is in Aiken County. Now, our Joey Matei tracking that development here this afternoon. You also got an arrest warrant in this case that sheds a little more light on what was going on between Jamilla Smith and Daniel Harmon in the last few weeks, and it's not good.
Daniel Harmon was taken into custody Tuesday morning, but was immediately taken to the hospital for evaluation, and he was officially been charged in the case after the couple hadn't been seen since Saturday night. Now, authorities found Harmon Tuesday morning at home in North Augusta after an anonymous tip reporting seeing Harmon's car. However, they are still trying to find 30-year-old Jamilla Smith. Authorities say they think Harmon knows something about her disappearance. Aiken County SWAT and North Augusta Department of Public Safety helped take him in. Now, according to an arrest warrant, Daniel Harmon is also accused of strangling Smith back on November 10th, causing visible bruising on her neck. And the last time Smith's family heard from her was on Saturday night. Now, authorities say Smith also called 911 that day, and she was saying that she was trying to run away from Daniel Harmon. Now, right now, Harmon is being held at Aiken County Jail, and if anyone has any information about where Jamilla Smith is, you are asked to call the Aiken County Sheriff's Office. I'm Joe.
All right. Now, again, as I told you guys, he did get a chance to see the judge or whatnot. And that's where his bond indeed was denied. But he got a chance to hear from Jamilla's father and what it is he had to say about this. So let's go ahead and get into this news story as well.
And in Aiken County, a man accused in the disappearance of his ex-girlfriend will stay in jail after facing that woman's family in court this afternoon. Daniel Harmon is charged with a number of crimes in this case as authorities continue to search for Jamilla Smith. Our Marshari Adams was in Aiken County where that hearing was and has the story.
Daniel, please, if you know anything, stop wasting time. Time is all we got right now.
That is Jamilla Smith's father begging Daniel Harmon to start talking about where Jamilla could be.
He over there just nodding his
Emotions
head,
were
looking
high inside
straight,
an Aiken
girl.
County courtroom Thursday afternoon as a judge denied bail for Harmon. The 34-year-old is charged with kidnapping and domestic violence in a case involving his ex-girlfriend, Jamilla Smith. No one has heard from the 30-year-old since Saturday night, and her family is begging Harmon to tell them what happened.
Hard every day. I see you, but I do not see my daughter. I get the call, and you don't know how hard it hurts me. And then it happened a day after my birthday. Then, man, I'm telling you, I need to see my baby. That's all I'm asking you, man.
Smith's mother says she last talked to her daughter on Saturday. Authorities also say
He
Jamilla
definitely
Smith
did
called
something, y'all.
911 on Saturday night and
I hate to accuse him ahead of time, but like it looked like when the dad was talking, he was starting to develop emotion in his eyes, but at the same time, keep a straight face, keep a straight face, keep a straight face is like what it seems like he was also telling himself to not give away any type of subtle signs or anything. But you definitely was the last person seen with her, sir. You definitely were the last person seen with her. So you didn't, some didn't went down, some didn't happen.
told dispatchers she was trying to run away from Harmon. Investigators say they found Harmon at a home in North Augusta Tuesday morning under the influence of something. He was taken to a hospital to be evaluated and was officially charged in Smith's disappearance yesterday. According to officials, Harmon has a history of domestic violence and mental health issues. He will remain at the Aiken County Jail and has been ordered to have no contact with Jamilla Smith's family. Harmon is due back on February 23rd. In
February
Columbia,
23rd.
Masharia Adams, Watch Fox News, Local First.
Like, sir, go ahead and stop wasting America's good time and let us know where this young lady is. This girl has 2 children. One of them is yours. If she's safe and sound or whatever the case may be, let the family know. Like, that is like, think about your child. Okay? Because clearly you weren't thinking about your child when you was over there getting into it with the mama and stuff. Okay? Having her run away from you and you about chasing her and then forcing her to get into the vehicle and stuff. So, yeah. I just think about your child at the minimum this time if you can. But I really hate that for her. I hate that, the family is having to experience this during this time, especially during the holiday season. I really hope and pray that she is found very, very soon. I hope that he gets to speaking. I hope that they're able to penetrate his heart in some type of capacity to where he opens up and let the people know exactly what happened between he and Jamilla that night and where is she. Okay, where is the girl at? All right. Her family, there has been an update. It looks like there is an award for anybody that has any information regarding her case. It looks like they are giving a $5,000 reward. Okay, and again, North Augusta, South Carolina. This is Jamilla Smith. She's 30 years old. She was last heard from on December 2nd around 7 p.m. According to authorities, she made a call to 911 stating her ex-boyfriend had come to her home in Jackson and she ran down the street to get away from him and have not been heard from ever since that phone call. Okay. Now the ex-boyfriend has been arrested, but Jamilla is still missing. So if you guys have any details, definitely see the details that's on this screen, reach out or whatnot. This is a mother of 2 kids, y'all. So I just hate this situation has happened, and I pray to God her family finds her safe and sound. But I just wanted to come to you guys real quick, give you that story. You know, we typically cover things like this over on the channel, but it's been a minute since I have covered that. So I wanted to bring, cover stories like this, but I wanted to make sure I brought this to you guys because I saw it and I was like, girl, what is going on? Because at first I saw the story and I saw that they both were missing. I was like, oh my God, they're both missing. And then before I could do a video on it or anything, I see that there's an update that they've arrested the guy. And I'm like, well, why they arrested him? So as I get into more details and I learn about his background and his history with DV, child neglect, and all kind of other things that he has, because it seems like the young man's rap sheet goes all the way back to 2015. Okay, when I see all of that, I'm like, okay, we got to talk about this. All right. So I had to bring this to the front. You guys leave your thoughts, comments down below. Definitely share the video. OK, because I'll be honest and say I have not really seen a whole lot out there about her case. I've looked up hashtags. I've looked online. Even some of these news reports that I've seen probably has less than 200 views on them. Okay, so a lot of people may not be privy to what's happening with this situation. Okay, it's been a week since this young lady's been missing. So I just wanted to make sure that I shared that with you guys. All right, I'm JamiThatsMe. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.